So let's start here in Houdini. I like to divide the scene. We always have to consider how to optimize our scene. The way I like to do it is to think about how I'm going to place my camera and what's the movement and how I'm going to use the scene that I'm building. And because I'm going to focus in a hero island in the front, or maybe 2 or 3 in the front, I will divide this environment in the background, mountains, islands, and the foreground. So I can put a lot of details in the front and the foreground elements and leave the background to make sense in the distance from the camera. Let's start placing a height field node. Let's dive inside. Now it's 1000 by 1000. Let's do it like 4000 by 4000. Yeah, that's great. I don't know, maybe I like to place it. Let's place down a camera first. So if you press Ctrl and press camera, you have the camera here. I'm going to lock it down. I'm going to be more, what's the distance here? It's 3000, 2500. Maybe we can be around this area with the camera, more or less like here, to transform it more. So let's do like a HF transform, so height field transform, and let's move this further down the line. Oh no, I'm translating the yeah, it was okay. Didn't flag it correctly. So yeah, you see we have it here. It's missing a bit that corner, but because we're going to have islands and we're not going to use the whole square, I think that's good. Maybe we can even push it further down there. What we have, like 2000. Let's make it 2000 in the negative Z axis, and just to round it, let's do it 700 x negative x. So that's great. Next I'm going to place a box, and what I want to do, I want to create a border edge. So I want to make a noise just in the inside portion of this area, and so we have like this edge of this terrain going down under the water, and we don't see this seam on our background terrain. So let's do it. So this is 4000 by 4000. We can maybe we can do it what, like a 380 50, maybe 1000 and 3850. The reason why I put 1000 in the y-axis, this big one, is because of the bevel. I want to bevel it, so let's poly bevel. The distance may be like 60. Let's do, oh, not this one. I want the divisions. We can have a few divisions just to make it round. We can see it better when we place this. Mask by object now. Mask by object. That's great. Okay. So now we can see what we have. The box is in the wrong position. So what I like to do, I want to take this transformation and place it in here. So we can just put like a transform mode in here, and let's link these two guys together. So this one, yeah, minus here relative channel and Z relative, yeah. So you see, now we have like this portion selected, and we can just do a blur here, maybe like 100 on the blur, and I want to make it smaller. I think it should be, maybe we can have it like 600, 3600. Yes, it's looking good. I think the bevel we can make the bevel even bigger, maybe 150. Yeah, it works. Yeah, that's good. So now if we place here HF noise and use the mask inside, we'll have like this going on. And if you see what we have here is like, maybe we can increase the blur radius of our element here. So let's go up to 300, and you can see it going more, but it's almost touching that area. So we can make it like let's make it like this, copy parameter, paste relative reference. So we just need to change this, and now yeah, it's good. But you see what I want to do here, I want to change the type of the noise in this. So let's change it to Wooley F1, F2, F2, F1. Okay, we have like this kind of element now. That looks good. Let's increase the element size. Yeah, something like oh, one, it's missing 1 0. Yeah, like this. We can maybe increase this to 900, and it's center noise, but I want that because I want some parts to be under the water and some parts to be above, but the whole thing is too much inside, and that's a lot depend on the type of the noise that you have. For example, if I would have like a purling, it would be more even, these ups and down, and for some reason this one is also more positive than negative almost, and this one, for example, is the same, and this one goes more negative than positive. So if we place like this, you get the opposite, and then you can see how much more it goes in the other direction. So what we can do now, we can put like an HF remap, but we can just remap the masked part and compute the range. So we have like you see here, it's going from minus almost 500 meters down to 141 up. The 0 is exactly on this edge because we didn't change the edge. So what I like to do is to be more like on the 100 negative, something like that, and maybe 300, maybe 250 up, like something like that. Yeah, maybe I can even go further down, maybe minus 200 down. That's looking better. And now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to just copy this. What I want to do now is, because imagine that, and then I'm going to bring here, we can place just a grid to preview it, but I'm going to use a tool that I created as I talked before, and it's in my digital asset, is the ocean, and here it's 5,000. I want it to be like, I want it to be 8,000, so it's maybe we can see further. I'm not totally sure if we need to increase this, but I think no, I think we're good to go at this moment. And if you see, we have in this intersection between the islands, the terrain of the islands with the water grid. So let's do it. What I can do, let's go inside again here, yeah, it's good that it's ghost, so you have like you can see the plane, but at the same time it's not like you can still see inside the terrain. Okay, so let's go back here. What I want to do, I want to get this mask by object again, and it's coming from the same inputs, that's fine, but I want to invert the mask on this one. And now what we have like this, and if we do like a remap in here, remap, and just in the mask, always the second input is the mask. So in this case we just want to remap this. If we compute the range, is 0 and 0 because we didn't have any noise, it's just a plane, so it's a flat. But if now I can just come in here and put like minus 100, and you see everything went below the ocean ground. We can still change the blur radius here, like for example 200, to decide how much soft we want in this. And for this I want to increase this blur radius, like 600 maybe. It's a lot of blur, so we have like everything falling down in the edges, and we have like this a bit higher. And now we can do like a layer, HF layer. So the layer is good that you can combine different terrains in different multiplication modes, like if you do like layer blending in Photoshop and another compositing software. So I'm going to bring the first one in here, the second one there. Here is for a mask, but we don't need the mask. And if you look, it's the layer mode is set to replace. So because this is the second input, what is prevailing is the second input here, because replacing the first input. But if we put like add, now we got the mix between both of them. So everything is under the water. We have like these islands going outside of the water plane, and that looks really cool. And now before we close this lesson, and I want to keep the lesson short and do more lessons so it's easier to follow and to practice. So let's do one more thing before we shut down this one. If you put like a HF clip, height field clip, that's a great tool, and what it does is just clip it above or below depending on the height. If I can compute the range, now I'm not clipping anything, and then I can clip the minimum and the maximum. So it's going more or less the same as we remapped it, because this is 250 here, 250 and minus 200. Now it's good because the clipping, the nice part of the clipping is that it just it's not like a sharp knife going on top of this. We can just come in here and play with it. I just don't want it to be that deep, because maybe in the translucency channel in the ocean we can see it a bit, and it's nice to have it more or less like that. And the top part, I think also we can play a bit, maybe a bit more like this. And this is the nice part. If I take this away, you see we have this hard edge in here. But if I have the soft clip, if I change this, it's giving us a bit more soft on this, and the scale gives this gradient between the clipping and the rest that is not being clipped. So if I place like 25 here, you see we have like, maybe it's too much 25. You see we get let me go down, yeah, something like 8. We have this more like this edge, and this gives us also like just the mask of the edge, or this the clipped part. I think this is good enough now. Yeah, I think it's good. What we can do here, if we go below below 0, for example, if we come here and go under the water, the nice part is that we make like this plateau, you know, like this edge of the ocean that you sometimes have, and from here you have like the islands. So because this is an exercise, let me just show you what I mean. We can just come in here, and now we have all this part that was clipped, and we can do like a HF mask expand, mask shrink. It's the same node as the expand, you just need to change this from shrink or to expand. So this the radius of the shrink, increasing, make it smaller and smaller. See, I want to make it really small, and then I want to make this one, and then I want to mask blur, HF mask blur. Let's blur it a bit. Yeah, it's like that. And now we have a mask of the top, and with like and it's going inside of it. I shrink it, the mask. So we put like a HF noise. Okay, this one. See, we're going up again, but if I make it just in the masked areas, that's really good, and we don't need to center this noise. Okay, you see, because when I expanded this clipping part, I got this all the way to the edge of the layer, and I don't want that. So we have this mask, and what we can do, we can just, I can just come in here. Oh no, so I can just come in here, place this in here, and not this one. Yeah, let's invert it, and instead of replacing it, I want to multiply. Okay, so this is in here, and this is in here. Okay. Yeah, you see, we multiply, so we're not messing up with this edge that we set before. And yeah, let's play with the noise of this noise. I think I'm going to keep with this one. We just need to change the size because it's more negative. I have it here, but here I want a bigger element, maybe even bigger than that. Yeah, I like the way the composition. And what we gain with that is that now we have like a more believable plateau for the mountain to rise, you know, because the dynamics of the ocean, it just like eat from the land, eroded, and normally we have like this more defined plateau under the islands that will grow. Maybe from this angle that we're going to be in, because this is in the background, it wouldn't matter that much, but I think it's a good exercise for us to play. And yeah, I think I really like this, the way it's been built, and these small little islands that we're going to erode and distort, they're going to look awesome. So I'm going to save this, and in the next lesson we keep working in the background. Thank you.